Welcome to Unstoppable Mind Today, where we explore the hidden dynamics of success, failure, and the choices that define our destiny. Imagine a peak so high it pierces the clouds, known as Mount Serenity, a legendary challenge that tests both body and soul. Standing at the base are two lifelong friends, Daniel and Marcus, both determined to reach the summit to find true wisdom. Daniel is a man of action who believes that speed is the ultimate weapon and that resting is only for the weak. Marcus, on the other hand, values wisdom over speed, believing that understanding the path is more important than how fast you run. Their journey represents the eternal conflict between two approaches to life: the obsession with efficiency versus the necessity of correct direction. For months, Daniel prepared his body with grueling workouts, convinced that being the strongest climber would guarantee his victory on the mountain. He focused entirely on velocity, telling everyone that the fastest person always wins and that hesitation is the enemy of success. While Daniel was building muscle, Marcus was building knowledge, spending his time researching the treacherous terrain he was about to face. He sought out Elena, the only person known to have successfully climbed Mount Serenity and returned to tell the tale alive. Elena shared her secrets and gave Marcus a detailed map, warning him that the obvious path is often a dangerous trap. She explained that the mountain is deceptive and that following the widest road leads only to a heartbreaking dead end. When they met at the start, Daniel scoffed at the map, trusting his eyes and the broad path that lay ahead. The journey began, and immediately their paths diverged, representing the fundamental difference in how they viewed the challenge before them. Daniel took off like a rocket, his powerful legs carrying him swiftly along the wide road, leaving Marcus far behind. Marcus moved deliberately, checking his compass every few minutes, ignoring the urge to rush and trusting the wisdom of Elena. For the first few hours, Daniel felt euphoric, covering miles of ground and believing he would reach the summit by noon. Meanwhile, Marcus faced difficult terrain, forcing him to climb over rocks and push through thorns, making his progress seem painfully slow. To an outside observer, it looked like Daniel was winning easily, while Marcus appeared to be struggling and losing precious time. Daniel looked back and saw nothing but empty road, fueling his ego and confirming his belief that speed was the answer. Marcus paused not to rest, but to verify his coordinates, knowing that a single wrong turn could cost him the entire journey. As Daniel pushed harder, the environment began to change, with a thick fog rolling in to obscure the path ahead. He ignored the warning signs, maintaining his sprint, convinced that he could outrun the weather and any obstacles in his way. Marcus was shielded by the dense forest, moving steadily along the hidden trail that the map promised was the only way. This is the danger of high performance without direction. You are simply accelerating the rate at which you reach your own destruction. Suddenly, Daniel slammed on his brakes as the wide road he trusted came to an abrupt end at a sheer cliff. He stared up at the wall of rock, realizing with horror that the path he had chosen did not lead to the summit. Panic set in as he searched desperately for a way around, but there was only the drop below and the wall above. Miles away, Marcus spotted a subtle carving on a tree, a secret marker Elena had told him would confirm the right path. Daniel collapsed in frustration, realizing that 4 hours of intense effort and record-breaking speed had amounted to absolutely zero progress. Every drop of sweat he had shed was meaningless because despite his power, he was simply moving in the wrong direction. Marcus continued his slow ascent, his muscles aching, but his heart light because he knew every step brought him closer. Refusing to accept defeat, Daniel tried to force his way up the cliff, believing his strength could overcome the mistake. But gravity is unforgiving, and he fell back hard, injured and exhausted, learning that stubbornness cannot turn a wall into a door. Marcus broke through the cloud layer, greeted by the warmth of the sun and a breathtaking view that validated his struggle. The contrast was stark. One man was trapped in the shadows of his own speed, while the other walked in light. Daniel checked his device for a signal, but there was none, leaving him isolated with only his regrets for company. Marcus checked his progress and saw he was 2/3 of the way there, his slow pace accumulating into a massive victory. Life is often like a complex maze where velocity without vision only helps you get lost faster than everyone else. Broken and defeated, Daniel had no choice but to turn around, facing the humiliating trek back to where he started. Marcus encountered a rushing river that seemed impassable, but the map guided him to a hidden bridge just upstream. He crossed the swaying bridge with care, grateful for the guidance that turned a potential barrier into a manageable path. Daniel, now limping back, watched fresh climbers starting their journey, wishing he could warn them about the trap of speed. His equipment was ruined and his body was broken, a physical testament to the destructive nature of misdirected ambition. As the air grew thinner, Marcus adjusted his rhythm, listening to his body and respecting the mountain's demanding conditions. The memory of Marcus offering to share the map played in his mind, a painful reminder of the arrogance that cost him. Finally, the summit came into full view, not as a distant dream, but as a tangible reality within his reach. Daniel could go no further. His energy depleted, he was forced to fire a distress flare, admitting his total failure. A rescue team spotted the signal and moved out, a humbling end for the man who thought he was unstoppable. Marcus took the final step onto the peak, feeling the immense satisfaction that comes only from a journey completed correctly. He stood above the world, the clouds beneath his feet, breathing in the rare air of success that few ever taste. There, etched into an ancient stone monument, was the wisdom he had sought, waiting for those patient enough to find it. He read the inscription aloud. "The right path walked slowly will always defeat the wrong path run quickly." The words resonated deeply, summarizing the entire experience and the distinct fates of the two friends who started together. Far below, Daniel was being carried down the mountain, his speed having led him nowhere but to a place of dependency. Marcus captured the moment, not just for proof, but as a permanent reminder of the principle that guided him here. He began his descent, his body tired but his spirit energized, carrying a truth that was worth more than any trophy. We often think that effort is the only variable, that if we just push harder, the walls in front of us will crumble. In our careers, we grind for hours, sacrificing sleep and health, thinking that busyness is the same thing as progress. But true success requires the courage to stop, to plan, and to ensure that the ladder is leaning against the right wall. Daniel lay in the medical tent, finally understanding that his speed was actually his greatest liability without a map. Marcus returned to base camp, not as the fastest man, but as the successful one, proving that consistency conquers intensity. When they reunited, the arrogance was gone from Daniel's eyes, replaced by a newfound respect for the power of strategy. Marcus handed him the map, a gesture of friendship and a lesson passed from one traveler to another. Think of effort as the engine of your car, and choice as the steering wheel that guides your path. You can have the most powerful engine in the world, but if the steering is locked in the wrong direction, you crash. Society tells us to hustle, to grind, to move fast and break things, creating a culture of exhausted failures. But the unstoppable mind knows that stillness is part of the strategy, and that clarity must always precede execution. Daniel began to change his ways, learning that preparation is not a waste of time, but the ultimate investment in success. Marcus continued to climb, but he also took time to teach others, sharing the map so they wouldn't suffer unnecessarily. Wisdom is the lighthouse that guides our energy through the storm, ensuring that our hard work leads us to a safe harbor. Years later, the two friends climbed again, but this time they moved together, combining Daniel's strength with Marcus's direction. They became an unstoppable team, proving that when power is guided by wisdom, there is no summit that cannot be reached. Precision will always outperform random force, and a slow step in the right direction is faster than a sprint to nowhere. Before you build your life, check your blueprints, consult the experts, and make sure your ladder is on the right wall. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. The farmer who plants with care reaps more than the one who scatters wildly. Scars are the tuition we pay for wisdom, but we can avoid many of them if we are willing to listen first. Marcus documented their story to remind the world that checking your compass is the most productive thing you can do today. Be like the river that carves the canyon over time, not the flash flood that destroys everything in a moment of rage. The most successful people in history were not always the busiest, but they were almost always the most thoughtful and strategic. As the sun sets on Mount Serenity, the mountain stands as a silent witness to the truth that direction determines destiny. Ask yourself today, are you running fast because you know where you are going, or simply because you are afraid to stop? Take a moment to define your destination clearly, for a clear goal acts as a magnet that pulls you through the obstacles. Calibrate your internal compass. Seek the advice of those who have climbed before you and respect the journey's process. Share your map with others, for we are all climbers on this mountain of life, and we rise by lifting others. Let your ambition be the fire that warms you, but let your wisdom be the light that shows you the way. The universe rewards alignment, not just effort. When your actions align with the right path, miracles begin to happen naturally. Don't be afraid to walk slowly through the fog, as long as you have the light of knowledge to guide your steps. Daniel learned that true strength is not just about moving your own body, but about having the stability to help others. Marcus learned that the mountain does not bow to speed, but it welcomes those who approach it with respect and understanding. Remember the water drop that pierces the stone. It is not through force that it succeeds, but through consistent, directed perseverance. Choose your path wisely, for the shortcut is often the longest route, filled with delays, dangers, and eventual disappointment. Never forget this core truth. Effort is merely the engine, but your choice is the steering wheel that determines the outcome. Without the steering wheel, the engine will only drive you into the storm. With it, you can navigate to paradise. Make your steps count, not by how many you take, but by ensuring each one brings you closer to your true purpose. In the end, the stories we tell will not be about how fast we ran, but about how wisely we chose our way. Your life is a story waiting to be written. Don't let haste scribble over the pages meant for a masterpiece. Be the grand master of your own destiny, thinking several moves ahead rather than reacting impulsively to the pressure of the moment. When you align your effort with the right direction, doors will open that no amount of brute force could ever unlock. Build your bridges with care, verify your plans, and trust that the time spent preparing is the most productive time of all. Mount Serenity remains there, a challenge for all, reminding us that the summit is reserved for the wise, not just the swift. So today, stop running for a moment, look at your map, and ask yourself if you are truly heading where you want. Find your own Elena, seek the mentors who have walked the path before, and value their maps over your own intuition. We offer you this story as a map for your own journey, a guide to help you navigate the mountains of your life. May you find the peace that comes from knowing you are on the right path, no matter how slow your progress seems. Let your worn-out shoes be evidence of a journey well-traveled, not a testament to circles run in vain confusion. Here is to the climbers, the planners, and the wise travelers who understand that the view is best when you arrive alive. Slow down to go further, pause to accelerate, and choose your direction to ensure your destination is one of joy. Tomorrow brings a new mountain and a new opportunity to apply this wisdom, to choose the path of clarity and purpose. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with a friend who needs direction. Leave a comment below and tell us, are you currently running like Daniel, or are you navigating wisely like Marcus? Thank you for watching Unstoppable Mind today. Remember to subscribe for more wisdom, and always choose your direction before applying your force.